What's going on, everybody? This is Giancarlo. Again, I am a self-taught trader, pattern day trader in the stock market. I mostly invest in silver and gold and some other commodities. We'll take a look at my investments in a second. I am also a self-taught astrologer. I've used AI and YouTube. We're not going to do too much AI today because I just want to show you a little bit of astrology and tarot. And then we're going to dive into my baskets and take a look at how my investments are doing today. So today's 7-7. Yo, happy 7-7, right? So my greatest challenge in life, my greatest challenge really in investing is a rushing energy, right? I'm sorry to say it this way, but it's like a crackhead energy. We could all be a little bit too addicted. We could all have a rushing quality when we invest, or we expect our investments to just pop off, right? We expect our investments to hit, that candle. And so in the tarot, what this represents, or this is represented by the Knight of Swords, right? So knights in the tarot, and I'll show you some other knights in another episode. Knights in the tarot represent movement, and it represents energy that you have to really be mindful of, because there's certain energy that you need, whether it's staying still or moving quickly or moving a little bit more methodically. The Knight of Swords, you can see here, this is a soldier, right? He's rushing into battle, right? So swords represent your mind, your logical reasoning, thinking skills in the tarot. And you can see he's like rushing, or sorry, going this way, he is rushing towards, a war, a battle, a victory. So to me, in the stock market, I believe we can all get this way. I believe that patience is obviously so important. I've only been investing in the stock market for about 8 months now, right? And again, I used AI and YouTube. I watched all the OG Silver Fox legends like Michael Oliver and Rick Rule and Eric Sprott, Alistair McLeod. So I'm primarily learning from traders who have been investing in metals for decades, right? And obviously there's been so much buzz about what people have been talking about with what silver is going to do and what gold's going to do and metals in general. And, you're going to take a look at my stocks today. We're going to take a look at my stocks today. Something that I've noticed is that I probably went in a little too early, and then we'll talk about that, right? So this is that rushing energy. This is that rushing energy when you catch a buzz, you think you have a good industry to invest in, you think that you have good stocks to invest in, and then you just go, 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 right? And I'll be honest with you, at this point in my life, and you're going to see it at this point in my investments, I'm basically all in, right? Like, you're going to see my E-Trade in just a second, and it's like, this is the thing that I'm starting to question, because it's like, this card, when it comes up in a reading, it's meant for all of us to take our time. Like, that's the really important thing. Like, when this comes up in a reading, right, you have to be mindful of, should you move with a more, deliberate energy, or should you slow down, right? Because really, this card is designed to, or it's meant to make you think about slowing down, especially when you have that rushing energy. Because we never want to rush into anything, especially if it's something like battle, like in this card. So I want you to think about that. Okay, and we're going to look at my stocks. I want to always put this up right here, right? This is not professional advice. I am a self-taught, pattern day trader, right? And again, I've used AI and YouTube to learn how to invest. And I've been basically in the market for 8 months every day now. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't made much money. I'm going to say this probably in every episode. I started investing in November of last year, just starting to watch some YouTube videos on gold and silver. And then gold and silver popped off, right? So I made money in the months of December, a little bit in January, and now, I'm down. But it's like, I am very happy with where I am, and we'll take a look at my investments right now. So let me put this down. I'm going to put this down in the corner here, make myself a little bit smaller, and let's take a look. I have not taken a look too much at my stocks today, so let's see how it's looking. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. It's one of those days, right? So, I'm going to show you what I'm investing in. So here is, I have a bunch of these broker accounts that I opened up because I was a crackhead and I thought I was going to have all these different baskets. So that's an example, right? You could see these are all empty baskets that I have. But, this is what I have going in my brokerage account. right? So we're down about 7 today. Not bad. Like I want to talk in particular. So I have United States gold and silver. I have copper. I have Agnico, which is a, kind of a legacy gold and mining stock. And then I have Franco Nevada, which is like the legacy gold mining stock. So this is a metals basket, right? Oh gosh, yeah, I don't even want to talk about like how I'm doing here because I probably started out with about 2,700. So I'm down, down today, and this is just one of those days. The dollar is really strong, So let me do this for you. Um, like I always like to, and I've set up a radar, right? So if this is your first episode that you've been watching and you haven't seen my first episode, I have been using AI and I've set up a radar. So I want you to see what I have in my radar. So please show the YouTube audience efficient. And so now the thing, hold on, I'm going to stop talking while I type. So I've been using ChatGPT. I use Gemini. I use Claude. I prefer ChatGPT for a lot of different things, and I use it for my astrology. So I have a radar that I've created throughout the time that I've investing. Like AI can be used as a thought board, right? Like I know there's a lot of bad rap on AI, and I will love to do an episode on AI at some point. And I'll show you my baskets that have like an AI stock. But for me, AI is just this like it's like journaling. It really is journaling, right? And you get this feedback. You have to be very careful about like ChatGPT, especially in the beginning, because it really likes to hype you up, right? So I don't know where you are with your AI use in terms of wherever you're using it, but the challenge of AI is that it can definitely like overhype you and it leads to like a blind confidence. And trust me, I have all the blind optimism in the world. And it's like one of my greatest strengths and one of my greatest challenges. So I've set up a radar here, right? And I just want you to see what I have in the radar. And it's like I like this because like for me it knows that I record YouTube and now it's doing an efficient YouTube just bullet point scan, right? So let me make this bigger for you all. um oh wait, I wanted to go in. Sorry guys, sorry about that. Let me zoom in, zoom in. All right, so I'm tracking a particular number in the S&P 500. My number for that is 7,000. Like I'm tracking when, and it's like, forgive me, you guys, the web. I don't use the web browser too much. So I don't know how the market's doing as far as, the Nasdaq, the S&P and the Dow are doing today. So I'm not going to try to find that right now. I don't use the web browser. So it's like, on the app, you see how the market's doing. And obviously, the market's probably not doing great today. But I don't know. Like, because I'm just mostly in metals. So metals is not having a great day today. Right. But yeah, I'm definitely tracking, obviously, like all of the different markets. Definitely volatility, right? The US dollar index, the treasury yield, the 2 year treasury yield. So it's like, the dollar is strong right now. Bonds are strong. Tips yield. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. I don't know what that is. And then obviously the Fed. There's so much talk about what the Fed is doing. Right now they're standing firm, and there's a lot of talk about the Fed raising rates, which would be really really challenging because if the Fed raises rates, that's just going to make it so that people, let's face it, right? Like we're all living off of debt. We're all living off of credit cards. That's most of us, right? So it's like if the Fed cuts the rates, then the ability for people to take out new debt, right, so that they can live, because obviously we exist in a Ponzi scheme of an economy. That's definitely going to impact what the metals are doing. So the narrative around the Fed is that they stood firm with their rates, and then there's talks of worse going higher with this rates. So that's always something to keep an eye on. High yield credit spread. So it's like this is private credit. I'm definitely tracking the ratio between the dollar and the yen. So that might be something that you want to do. So it's like, yo, please feel free to take a picture of this and then run it through your AI. Again, I offer individual personalized sessions, right? So it's like mostly astrology is what I would like to do because I would never want to give you financial advice because, again, I am not a professional trader. This is not professional financial advice. But if you want to just take a moment to like ever meet with me, through Zoom, um, I want to be honest with you. I was a high school teacher, and I've just recently lost my job, and it's a long story. But yeah, if definitely if any of you are definitely curious about working with me, I would greatly appreciate it. And my business model is you get to name your price. If you'd like an astrology reading and how it can help you, and I'm going to have episodes on how you can look at your astrology chart and you can look at the money house in your chart. Please reach out to me. My email is in the description. But yeah, definitely the gold, the price of gold and silver, the GSR, gold silver ratio, obviously all these things. My radar has uranium. I don't have uranium anymore, but uranium is something that I want to track because I believe it's closely tied to AI. Oil is definitely something we always need to track in the market. Gold miners, the junior miners, all this metal stuff. Obviously Bitcoin. So it's like this here. I mean, I didn't even know that I have all of these different things in my radar, right? Because what I basically do is when I learn something and it's like, okay, I need to track that. Right. So it's like even here, okay, so distribution versus accumulation. Today's a distribution day for sure. Sector rotation day for sure. So, money's moving out of the metals. And then obviously if I ask ChatGPT to break down momentum divergences, it'll tell me what it is. But it's like, this is, where different industries are going to be coming together. Different, obviously breakouts in silver and gold and the metals are something that we're all looking out for. But it's like most of the time it is a failed breakout. Right. And then, obviously which things are gapping up, and then obviously liquidity conditions. Right. So, if you want to go back and screenshot all these things, I highly encourage that you use it for your AI, right? And then if you want to learn how to use AI in trading, and if you haven't been really using AI in trading, it's the game changer, right? I know there's this crazy narrative around AI, and let me put up my stocks again. So I know that there's crazy narrative around AI right now, and yes, like a lot of it is true, right? It uses water, data centers, all that stuff, but we have to also look at the positives AI, especially if you are a trader, an investor. You can definitely use it in the right way so that you can give it the tasks that it needs to give you the feedback, right? So like, and especially for trading. So it's like now that you see what I have, I'm just gonna say viewers are watching. Let me move this up. Viewers are watching. Oh, sorry. Viewers are watching radar for today, right? So now it's going to let me know what's going on as far as all of these different and the thing about it is that sometimes people feel like, oh well, AI is wrong, AI is wrong, right? But it's like I've designed it to always give me the sources, right? You could see here, right? So here's the Wall Street Journal, all these different things that it's getting its data from, right? So it's like, yeah, the bull trend remains intact, even though right now you can see here, right? Like this is a challenging day. It's just a down 7% day. I'm always tracking, like, at this point, like, we all know, like, I don't know if you invest in gold and silver, right? But it's like silver reached a peak of 120 back in January. It's been sideways ever since. And now you can see it's down 2% today. And, 60 is obviously really low. This is down 50% from its January highs when it was like 120, and it's been sideways ever since January, right? So that's the thing. Let me just put this up again, right? I believe, and I'll put this here again, I believe that I rushed into silver way too quick. So I've been tracking gold and silver since November, right? And then I first started to learn how to trade. When I first started trading, like I leveraged so much money, right? And like, you can see here, right? Like I started with around 2,700 in this basket, I would say, right? And then in this basket, I probably started with like 3,800. So this is down 5% today. This is my Roth. So I'll show you my Roth in a second because I'm a little more aggressive with my Roth because it is a Roth IRA. And we all know you can't, withdraw from a Roth IRA until you're 59 and a half. So it's like, and I don't even know what's going to happen to money by then, but I'll show you my Roth in a second. But, it's like I've been tracking gold and silver for a very long time. The reason that, I started around 2700 in this basket, I would say. So it's down like 600 right now. And that's okay to me. That's just compression. I'm holding through, right? But if I, in retrospect, everything is hindsight, 2020 is hindsight, hindsight is 2020, right? So I went in when silver was probably around, I probably went in with when silver was 76, right? So now it's 61, right? So it's like, this is the reason that you see that I've been down my, about $600 here. So, what I've lost is going from 76 down to 61 in silver, right? But I have my thesis and I believe that, I believe that silver will reach critical mass and a point of parabola, right? I don't know if you watch Michael Oliver, right? Like, let me show you Michael Oliver, and I hope you know who he is. And I don't know what you're trading in, so I would love in the comments if you let me know what industries you are trading in, right? But this is one of my gurus, right? So I'm sure you've seen him. If you are investing in metals, watch this guy, but he's wild, man. Like, I'll play a clip of him eventually because I want to talk about his confidence. I really hope I can find his astrology online because I think that'll be really cool to look at his birth chart, and we can talk about how his birth chart affects, his reasoning, his how he communicates. But this man right here, I'm telling you, like, he runs momentum structural analysis, MSA, right? And he's been tracking the momentum of markets for decades. And I mean, like, I looked at his website. He sells his work for like $1,800, right? Like, he has investors that are like, this dude's work is so valuable that I'm gonna pay $1,800, right? And even though he talks about it for free on YouTube, right? That's the thing that, like, I just, we all understand because we're all YouTube. We all like to YouTube. YouTube is really the greatest university that you can go to. It's the greatest place that you can learn. The thing that I really like about him is that he has a crazy thesis that silver is going to go 3 to 500. He's been saying in the summer. Now it's July 7th. It is in the summer. I don't know if he's right. We'll just have to see. I don't know. Like, the way that I've been tracking it, because I want to show you, this is USAS, right? I've been tracking this stock. It's 441 today. I probably bought this when it was around like 550 or so. So, it's down 10% today. This is a convexity stock. If like, again, this is not professional advice, but this little $4 stock, I believe, can change your life. And not about making money, but if you are new to trading and you got $4 and let's say $5, right, and you want to learn how to invest and you're not going to turn into a crackhead with the Knight of Swords here, right? To me, this is the learning stock. It'll cost you $5. You can learn how to invest, and then you can just track how it's going to do, and then you can follow all of the content around gold and silver. And, you're going to watch me as I record episodes to see how USAS is doing. That's my stock, right? And then I have my Roth. So now in my Roth, I also have USAS, right? Let me show you the full view. So, like, I am, I'm all in. Like, I am totally all in, right? Just so you know, like, I was a high school teacher and I just recently lost my job. So life is like very new right now and very challenging. But you can see here, right? So this is how much, down 20%. That's gnarly. I haven't been down 20% in a while. Like, the other day, I was down probably like 11%, which was fine. But because I'm heavily invested in United States gold and silver here, USAS, right? I have 298 shares, right? Because my thesis is silver is around 200 by the end of the year, right? Maybe 250. I don't know about that. My thesis is silver is around 200 by the end of the year, right? And different projections have come out. Bank of America came out with, like, I think their top end was like 180, right? And Bank of America, when they give a silver projection, it's a little bit lower, right? So I go by what Bank of America released. I don't know what the recent projection from Bank of America is, but my thesis is silver will reach around 200 this year. And it's like, yeah, that's great. If you hold physical silver, which is what people like Michael Oliver talk about, buying physical silver is the best investment you can make, right? And and maybe at some point I'll be one of those like silver guys and show you my silver and like just talk about the importance of it. But buying physical silver, right? Let me just put it up. I'm a high school teacher, so I just want you to just see it, right? Like buying physical gold and silver, and this is the only money that is real right now. This has been the only money that's been real for thousands of years. Let's face it, right? If you're watching this and you're this far in, right? Like what's happening to fiat currencies, what's going to start happening to fiat currencies. I mean, it's like if you ever went to ChatGPT, right? You can run a radar on how the currencies are doing around the world, and the only advice, if I'm going to give you any advice, but the only advice that I'm going to give you, and it's not advice, it's not professional advice, I'm not a professional, right, is please consider buying physical gold and silver, buying physical silver. If you can afford gold, buy gold, right? But if you can physically, I mean, if you can afford physical silver, right? This is a generational buy. I don't know what the premiums are right now. I'm sure the premiums are much higher. I don't even know what the supply is from people, from places like AppMex or Money Metals or wherever you want to look at getting silver, right? So I don't know what the premiums are. We can look at that in another episode. But again, this is going to be the only money one day. And no fear, no doom and gloom. I don't know how far along you are in your investment journey, right? But, one day, that's going to be what money is. So let's take a look at my Roth. And I just want to go over my Roth real quick because this is like, I know that I can't, withdraw from this until I'm 59 and a half, and I'm 47 right now. So I'm in different industries here. And it's like, this for me is like, a particular like market scan, right? It gives me like I have skin in the game, right? You can see here my powder is 289. This is down 15% because I went in too early, right? But you can see here I have even more US gold and silver, right? Because I believe in this stock. And that's just me. I've been seeing how it's been operating, right? We can see, USAS is down 10 while silver is only down 2.23, and it's like you can never really compare how a junior mining stock, especially a really small mining stock that's only worth $4, you can never compare it to how silver is doing, how silver spot is doing. But I personally have been tracking this stock for months now, and it's like, there's, if you went on ChatGPT, you're going to get things like AG and SLV and SIL, PAS, right? Pan American. You're going to get all of those different, kind of more well-known silver mining stocks. So I'm in this for convexity, right? And like I said, I just lost my job, so this is all that I'm worth right here, you guys. Like you could see, this is basically what I have aside from my physical gold and silver, and I'm playing convexity, with USAS, and again, this is not professional advice. Let me put this back up. This is not professional advice, right? But I believe in this stock. And it's like I said, like if you ever wanted to meet with me and set up a Zoom, again, like my business model is you get to name your price. If you want to talk about astrology or Zoom or anything like that, you get to name your price. But I have a service now, which is, I hate to say this is a company that is going to design AI who can replace, things like payroll and HR and like a lot of those like clerical office positions. And that's the future. Like if that's triggering to you, and you're afraid of losing your job to AI, I'm really sorry, but I'm investing in that because that's part of my thesis, that's part of the astrology. And I do my best not to predict too much, but that's part of my thesis. I have Wheaton Precious Metals. This is like one of the legacy stocks. Well, I have this BBAI. If you ever listen to Zip Trader, right, like he touted BBAI a long time ago. BBAI has like really kind of killed me. Oh gosh, what just happened? Sorry. BBAI has just like really killed me. But I believe in drone technology. This is an AI company that's going to be that develops drones. Like I just believe that the future of warfare is going to be drone technology. And so I'm investing in that. Franco Nevada, which I also have in my broker. I have XLE, which is, oil, and I have NEE, which is electricity, right? Because a stock like NEE, we'll talk about the market crashing at some point. A stock like NEE is a place that we will all want to go to once we start seeing market signals that there's going to be a crash, right? Because everyone needs electricity, right? So we're going to have to talk about, like, what are the stocks that we can consider, because we all know that the AI bubble is going to pop any day now, right? So where do we move our money? If we choose to move our money into industries, like I'm looking at places like electricity, I'm looking at places like Costco, right? Like Costco, survives all types of recessions and depressions, right? And there's other stocks that we can look at with AI. But those are my baskets. Thank you for watching. If you ever would like to reach out to me, my email is in the description. I would love to meet you. We can talk about astrology. I will be working on an astrology episode where I can show you a birth chart. I want to find like Warren Buffett's birth chart and show you like where his money house is, and talk about money houses in astrology. Good luck in trading. Let me make myself bigger here. Good luck in trading. I don't know what advice to give you, right? Like, you have to question if you're going to sit through the volatility that you may be experiencing. If your thesis holds up to what you're holding, right now it's a volatility test. Right now, like, I've had so many days like this. I've had so many days in the market where, oh, sorry. I've had so many days in the market like this where you can see, like, I'm down today. Like, this is as challenging as it gets for me in the market, right? Like, this is my net worth, right? Like, all of this is my net worth right now, and I'm unemployed, right? So it's like I have money deployed in the stock market, and it's like, in retrospect, right? I wasn't expecting to lose my job, obviously, but I did, and I can't share that story, but I question how big I went, and yeah, I didn't really go that big, but I question, how big I went, um, with my broker account, right? Because, like, I could use an extra $1,000 right now. So if I wanted to sell USAS, right? But it's like, obviously, like, to me, I believe in this stock. I would never sell it when it's 9%. I don't want to sell this stock because I believe USAS, like silver, will reach a new reality. So anyway, thank you for listening to me and hearing me out. I will see you soon in the next episode. Good luck in the stock market. Good luck in your life. If you ever want to learn anything about your astrology or talk about your investment strategies, because I want to learn. I don't want to act like I know what I'm doing, right? Like, I am a kind of lunatic, self taught pattern day trader. So I would love to meet some of you guys because I haven't really met any financiers out in the world. And I would love to meet you and get to know what you're working on. And good luck in the market. Please leave some comments about what you're investing in. And again, take your time, do your research, use AI. If you want to learn how to use AI in the stock market, I'm your guy. All right, peace.